Hey guys, my name is Pamela and welcome to my channel At Home With Me. In this video, I'm going to share my experiences as an Army Green Beret spouse. So let's start at the beginning with selection. Selection is held in North Carolina, Fort Bragg. When my husband went through it, we were actually stationed in Germany. He had to fly over to North Carolina to do the 19-day course. While he did this course, I actually stayed home with our daughter, and I actually watched this video documentary called 2 Weeks in Hell. And I knew that he had actually watched this before while he was getting ready for a selection. It was super informative, and it gave me a lot of details, a lot of information about each phase that he was going through every day, you know, when he was getting pretty much smoked and everything that the Army really just bestows upon you at that point. It was actually really eye-opening to see all the things that these guys would go through. I think that he really liked the fact that I was watching it and making sure that I knew what he was going through while he was away. You don't hear from them. You don't get a phone call or an email or anything. You will hear from them when the whole selection course is finished. And that's when you find out whether they got selected or not. When I finally got that phone call that he got selected, he was so happy, and I was just relieved that it was done and over and he was going to come back home. During that time, I just focused on myself and our daughter at that point. She was only 1 year, so I just tried to really fill my days with making sure that she was taken care of and making sure that I was taking her out. I was taking her to events that were good for her age, and that we were having play dates and just, you know, things for us to socialize. I didn't have a job at that point because, again, we were overseas and it was kind of hard for me to really get out there and find somewhere to work. So I just focused on my mental health and on our daughter. Fast forward to the Q course. After he got selected, he actually got orders to go back to North Carolina in Fort Bragg. So we were there for about, I want to say 2 years. I think it took him about 18 months to complete the Q course. There are a few phases. So there's SEER school, or SEER survival training. I think that's what you call it. There is the MOS specialty training, so what you're going to be doing in your team. There's also language school, there's small unit tactics, and then there's like Rob and Sage, which is like field training pretty much. So there's going to be a lot going on throughout the Q course. In 2019, it was revamped, and now it's about 6 months. So don't quote me on that. I'm not quite sure, but I know that it has been updated, and it's probably a lot shorter now, which is good for you guys. There was times where he would leave for weeks or sometimes just days, but it was really important for me to establish a routine. I was making sure that my daughter was getting the entertainment that she needed, so I put her in gymnastics, I would put her in taekwondo, swimming, anything that would keep her busy, and really it would help us get out of the house. So that's going to be really important for you guys, making sure that you're making a routine for yourself, because even though your husband is gone and working, you have to make sure that you're taking care of you mentally and physically as well. One thing I do want to throw in there is, you know, I'm sure that a lot of you, when your husband is going through these field trainings or so, that you already have a full-time job and you're working your booty off to really make some money and take care of your kids. But, you know, if you're not, and you're at home and debating whether you want to go to school or not, this is your chance to do so. You know, at this point, the military provides for you a home on base if you'd like to have that. And so your financial needs are a little bit different than a regular civilian family. You're a little bit more cared for in that aspect. So it gives you a little bit of leeway to be able to stay at home with the kids and go to school. You have to kind of do some research on that, but I do remember that I got my personal training certification through NASM for free, and it was actually really nice because I was able to focus on that while my husband was gone, and I didn't have to worry about the tuition or the financial needs of it. Just remember that there is the MWR, which also puts up events for the military families. There's always something that you can be doing. Honestly, stay close to the people that you love. So your family members, your friends, anybody that's really there to support you and really check up on you and your family. Also, I know that my husband got a lot of questions from his channel, and I will link it down below if you want to check out his channel. But I know that he got a lot of questions about, hey, like, how long are you home? It varies by specialty, I think. It is treated almost like a PCS move. So you get to live with your husband. At least that was our experience. We lived on base in a home provided by the military. And I saw him every single night, except for those nights where he would leave for a few weeks on field training. But for the most part, he was with me. So that was really nice. I didn't feel like he missed out on a lot. And, you know, a lot of that was also that I was there. My daughter doesn't feel like he was gone a lot. And it was because I made sure to supplement all that time that he was away when he was at home. So, you know, if he was gone for a few weeks, I made sure that on the weekends when he was home, we were doing something together. We were taking her to a pumpkin patch, or we were taking her to, you know, a Great Wolf Lodge trip, or any family resorts, or any sort of mini vacations that we can do on the weekend, that we could do on the weekends. We were doing it to make sure that we could supplement that, you know, and so that it felt like we had a work-life balance. So after the Q course, Sean got orders to go to Fort Carson in Colorado, and that's with 10th Group. That enters, you know, team life. While he was trying to become a member of his team and really just do his part, I was at home working again with the routine that I had established from North Carolina. And then when deployment hit, by then I had a really good established schedule. At that point, they were being deployed for 6 months. And Sean was not able to communicate with me every single day, but we did try to video call about once a week, and we did communicate through email. Email was basically the fastest way for us to talk to each other. We did have WhatsApp, which is, I'm sure you guys know what app that is. So we did, I think, text here and there, but I don't remember really using that as much. He did email me. He would let me know that he was going to be gone for some time. He was never clear on what day, for how long, because these missions were, you know, secretive. So you can't tell your spouse through an email what it is that you're doing. But he would just let me know, hey, babe, you know, from today on for a couple of weeks, you're not going to hear from me. So we've got some stuff going on. And that's all I would hear. And it was the FRG leader's job to email us if anything went down, or if, you know, there was any trouble going on over there. There wasn't really a lot of communication back and forth from the whole team back to the spouses. Some spouses didn't hear at all from their husbands, and I do hope that they didn't take that too personal. The guys were so busy overseas, and I think that it's just mentally draining and mentally hard for them to call and write to their spouses sometimes, knowing that they're so far away and they can't see them and they can't see their families. You see all these reunions everywhere on social media, you know, where the whole company is in formation, wherever that may be, outside, on a base, or indoors, anywhere. And you see all of the family members surrounding the formation, and then they finally get released, and everybody runs to their husband and runs to their wife. And that was definitely the way we did it the first time. We did that the first time he deployed. But this time, it wasn't like that. It was actually so sad. I walked into the room with my daughter, and there was family members there waiting for their loved ones, and it was just a regular small room, and everybody was sitting down. It was really late at night, probably midnight to 2 in the morning, and the guys were just coming in through the doors. And so one by one they would come in at different times, I guess because they had to take care of all the equipment that they had brought before they even got to see their families. And so they would just walk in through the door, and you would kind of jump up thinking that it's your husband or your kid or your son or whatever, and it wasn't them. So then you just have to wait for the next person to come in. It was a little bit rough because I'm waiting here with my kid, and I just want to see my husband that I haven't seen in 6 months. In my mind, I feel like that should have been a more special homecoming event, right? But it is what it is. I got my husband back, and that's all that mattered in the end. But I just wanted to put that out there because I know that not every homecoming is going to be as sweet as the one that I explained and described before. Overall, was this experience worth it for me as a spouse? Absolutely. I am going to stand by my husband 100%, and I'm going to support him in everything that he wants to do. I feel like for myself, I had to step back a little bit and put my goals on hold for him, but I feel like it was completely worth it. And to see where he's at now, I think that it really helps grow your relationship and really helps you understand that you need to value each other's goals. Everything that is different for us as special operations spouses, I mentioned, and there is some things as well that I haven't mentioned, but I'll cover that in other videos. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope I met your expectations for this video, and till next one. Bye.